just used to come into my room, always at 3:33 in the morning. And subsequently, obviously, you know, I was born at 3:33 on the equator in Kenya, on the 0 point. So it's like there's some kind of correlation with all of that, with the numerology itself. And they were always coming to pass me message, you know, give me messages. But now looking back onto all of that, it was all me. It was all me, facing me, telling me to remember. And so now I come from this spaciousness of not having any names. I don't want to have any names or labels or attachments, and simply rise into this space of coming from the detached observer. And that space is very much the space of stillness that comes in between the outer reality and the inner reality. So we have our inner intentions, and then we have the outer reality where things manifest. But actually, to be in the space between both of them as that detached observer, as the silent, still witness, is the most powerful, the most aligned, and the most knowing space I have found for me personally, because I spent years going out into the outer reality, reading, searching, like, what does this mean? What does that mean? What, you know, being of like a bookie nature, not realizing that the innerverse already knew, but it came to a matter of trusting the innerverse. But now actually stepping into that spaciousness of the still point, that 0 point of just being and knowing from that 0 point, and then you see whatever is meant to come to you at the time. You always know what you need to know at the time, and that's it, because there's only an eternal now moment. There's no more external seeking or searching. It's just this now, eternal now. And my mantra for that is, I have everything I need to know right now. All is well in my world right now.
Placed it on you, but thank you. That's amazing. Can we say that together?
All is well,
all is well
in my world.
In my world right now.
Right now. Or I have everything I need in my world right now.
I have everything I need in my world right now.
My universe is looking after me.
My universe is looking after me. Wow, such an amazing share, sister. Such an amazing share. Anytime we get to be, again, more transparent and really share the different, you know, facets or striations of ourselves and our light and our inner being, only does more to expand others who resonate with them. So thank you for that bridge you just put out there to connect with.
Thank you.
You know, other reflections of you. So within all the alignments, everything that you said is, again, layered. Is just layered the path in which takes you into self, into the sovereign space, into that space in between spaces, that stillness. As you say, it's so powerful, as I know that it's so powerful, feeling that self, feeling that within self. And darling, the name of our title, this one, the stars are aligning, so you should too, and you should too, or something of that nature. And as you say, being in that space is the power, being in that space between being the observer and not left brain, right brain, or the duality, being, bringing that to triplicity with the three, as the three that you are, Jupiter. In that alignment, how the distractions are a multitude, it's part of the game, it's part of the
yeah.
Leela, right? So it's so after having such experience within the synchronicities of that near-death experience, or any of those in between, seeing multiple, as they've always been there, seeing multiple, but seeing that one, and after seeing that, really not able to turn your back on it anymore, not forget it. But it's so easy to be distracted and get tied into the day-to-day something or whatever, and being able to come back and in your meditations or with that consistency to really set yourself on the path needs to be. And I think knowing this, it's different than just hearing it, but you have to experience it. And I guess that's a part of the game as well. When you see, how do you handle when you may see, again, I guess that's being an observer to answer the question, but I'll ask it again. When you see others or close people, or somebody maybe one of your clients, or when they've seen the experiences, same things that have happened to them, and they somehow, how do you communicate? What's the word I'm looking through? How do you best communicate with anybody, really? Let me say, coming from a space of love, and maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found recently is, and this has been amazing for me in my evolution. I call it my evolutionary involution. That by simply holding space with that person through my silence, so that I'm then connecting to my source connection within, which simply allows in its reflection the other person who is in my morphogenetic field at that time to also come into that energetic vibration. And so by me holding that still silence, spaciousness, simply allows them to do that. And this is what I do with my energetic transmissions that I give people. I don't know if you've experienced the ones on the Leela talks that I'm giving.
Indeed, yes.
And it's just simple. You're holding space, and either the person connects here to my third eye, or through the energy I'm passing through the hands, because I'm embodying. You see, I've integrated the embodiment of that energy, and then I'm able to just simply transmit it through all the pores, but in that moment through the third eye or the eyes or my hands. And I've just found that the simplicity of that moment, the stillness of that moment, is able to say more than intellectualizing 1,000 words. And I was brought into this moment being a number threes, being Jupiter, want to know everything. They want to dabble in all parts. I don't know if you found that. We have so many interests.
Indeed.
Because we have so many of them in our universe, right? Oh, there's a nice dog here. A dog's obviously listening. And because of that, it's
right.
I also know that in life, one has to go through the elastic band to be stretched completely in one polarity, to experience one polarity, to be brought back to that center point again, to that neutrality. And so having experienced the polarity of intellectualizing everything, doing loads of courses, reading so many books, any YouTube that would come. I mean, if you think about, if I look back on my 30 years experience. There isn't anything I haven't done. There isn't anything, you know. But you know what? My house, I had a house fire 3 years ago, and my house fire basically burnt every single certificate I ever had, including my first one with optometry. And I thought to myself, and when I sat in my silence, I said, what is this actually teaching me? And it was my soul calling. You don't need any of that external. Everything is within. It's in your soul, in all of our soul imprints. Like we are everything. But to become that everything can only come when you become the no thing. And it's that letting go. It's that surrender.
The no thing.
The no thing of the nothingness brings you the everything. And as a human being, sometimes we've been so programmed into collecting things or hoarding things or getting certifications, or because it's just the way of the programming of this 3D reality.
Right.
But actually in higher consciousnesses, in 4D and 5D, you're just a soul being. And what is the essence of the soul being? The essence is love. The essence is tranquility. It's stillness. It's purity. And it has a foundation of innocence. And if you can hold all those spaces in each now moment, each moment contains everything you need to know in that moment. And so it's not an external searching. It comes from within. And each of us has our own uniqueness within us, which is again so beautiful, because there are no two people who are the same. But all of this is very much, it's not something you can read in a book. It's not something that you can just say, okay, I'm going to go into nothingness and become this lazy person and not do anything all day long, and that's it. It is very experiential. You have to experience the nothingness by embracing the unknown. And when you can totally surrender, and it gets to a point where you have to let go of the self, letting go of the small selves of self, like really letting go. And this can happen, for example, for me,
and badges,
it's happened in near-death experiences. It's happened in letting go of all my possessions that were possessing me through the house fire. I mean, I would say my fire was my greatest gift. I look at it now and I just think, what a gift. Thank you, universe, because you took away all the possessions that were possessing me. It was like, let's wipe out that timeline. Let's just take everything away.
Right. Help you remember.
And who are you being right now? You know, who are you being right now without anything? Are you ready to walk the talk, sister? Are you really ready? Like, you've been saying things, you've been speaking the right things, you've been acting are you ready to really walk? And it's taken a couple of years even after that to integrate it, because it's not putting things under a carpet, it's integration of the ego, because the ego has so many different ways. But when you can meet parts of yourself and just say, okay, I'm going to sit with them. I'm really going to sit with my own fear. You know, my fear of being home, my fear of not having a home for my kids and I, my fear of not having an income or all the money being like, let me sit with it. Let me just sit with it. And I had the realization that the wealth was in my heart, that the tremendous wealth was all in my heart, and that I had everything I needed. I had my kids, I had my health, I had my life, but I had my prana, I had my breath, I have my breath. And yeah, and it's the breath, you know, because as soon as your breath leaves, you're left with a body. Like, You're ready to move on to the next incarnation. So,
Indeed. It's us. Yeah, take a ground ourselves. All right, so we got some some visitors, with us, sitting in the space. So
okay.
it never happened consciously before, but
Yeah.
oh wow. Yes. So we was talking about the alignment continuously, finding the space within self, and take a breath.
It's taking a breath, and also there's a difference. So we've been so programmed, even with breathing, that when we take the breath in, that we're bringing the oxygen into our system, and as we exhale, we're bringing it out. But I've had a realization that we're breathing in through all our pores, not just our nose or our mouth, the biggest organ in our body, all our pores. So as we breathe in, can we, at that point, as we're breathing in, let go of all our organs, our blood system, our circulatory system, and give it all away and surrender it to the cosmos in the in-breath? And then as we breathe out and exhale, bring in the cosmos into our innerverse. Because this realization came as a reality transurfing coach. At the moment, I was looking into the mirror of duality. And that in the physical realm, we are living in the duality of the mirror. So everything is upside down. But when you go beyond the mirror into the metaphysical realm, into unity consciousness, everything is the right way up. So then I started looking at breathing, because breathing and breath and nostril breath is another one of my pet subjects, as you know. And I just, in pranic breathing, because breathing is prana, as you breathe in, let go of all the organs and let them go and surrender them to the universe. And as you breathe out, bring the organs back replenished into your system. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is the yogis in India who live primarily for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's some I know about that have lived for 350 years, 400 years, only surviving on their prana. They don't eat, they don't drink, they even survive underwater. Some of them live underwater inside the river Ganges, simply surviving on their prana, and this is what they're doing. So it's the other way around. And this came to me today. And this is going into higher levels of consciousness, because on a 3D level, we're so programmed by the mirror of duality, and that we have to eat, and that we have to drink, and we have, and this comes into other levels of breatharian consciousness, which I'm now going to investigate. But
yes. And so I sent you earlier a screenshot of the stars aligned, well, 4 in particular, and I'll share that picture. But I have an app called Cosmic Watch, and this Cosmic Watch allows you to see the cosmic alignments around us within our planetary system. And you can set your compass and use it that way, face the cameras in whatever direction, and see what you see as you zoom in as far as you can see. And let me see if that's skipping. And just to, as we see that as above, so below, or teaching or showing others, or not showing, embodying this as above, so below. And as we see above, these particular stars aligning, which is a massive they've had conjunctions that are happening this year in like 3,000 years.
Yes.
And here is Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Moon is in that same direction as well for that night. And when you see this, knowing that all is self, but knowing even more, a little bit more about not a little bit more, but to dial in more on the specific archetypes that we have here. What do you see when you first see this particular alignment? You got Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Pluto there.
So what I see is, okay, so Pluto is very much to do with your inner self, because it's so far away, but it's actually, I always look at the equal opposite, that it's so within you as yourself. And it's aligning with the guru part of yourself, the Jupiter of yourself, where Jupiter sits very much in your throat, your spoken truth, your etherical body. And it's aligning with Saturn, which is your middle eye, which is your Ajna chakra, which is your pineal gland. And of course, it's grounding it all in with Mars, which is your base chakra. So here we have a beautiful alignment of grounding in with the earth energies, bringing in Jupiter as your spoken truth, bringing in Saturn as your pineal gland, which is the seat of your soul, and bringing in your inner gnosis of Pluto, which is the furthest aspect of this galaxy as we know it planetary-wise, but it's actually being the furthest. It's the nearest to you. It's your psychic self. And so I see this as a beautiful alignment that's happening in our innerverse, that the cosmos is actually right now in the stars. It's so beautiful.
Right.
All speaking our truth.
So beautiful.
About being in isolation and being in our own spirit. Like, how many people are speaking their truth? How many people are going inward, aligning and meditating, seeing truth from their pineal gland, and becoming their own true gurus, their own masters. Like we are being given a chance by the cosmos right now to be your own guru, because there is no external guru. You are your own guru. This is beautiful, Heru.
Exactly. Beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
So beautiful. What a time. What a time. What a time to
what
be.
A gift. What a gift. What a gift.
So amazing. So amazing. So many things that has synchronicities and things that have shown themselves to be present along with us on this journey and this level of awareness. It's so, if you needed a sign, like if you needed something, like all you have to do is look within inside and look outside. What's going on? For anybody, like if you needed a sign to get on your horse, align these horses together as you sat on the throne, of the cosmos, the higher self. Let's do it, family. All those who are here, this is the time. These are
we
the
were
times.
born for these times.
And if you need additional motivation, yes,
we chose.
Born for these times.
We chose to come. We chose to incarnate at these times. And these times are a gift. They're a gift. An absolute gift.
Such a gift. The presence.
And the gift is, another word for the gift is presence. And what does presence mean? Stillness.
Presence.
Silence. Spaciousness. That's all it is. It's so simple. Can you dial into that stillness, into that silence, into that presence? Because that's where all your answers lie.
That's what they are. That's what they love. This is the presence. And again, that's the image I keep, like, this nothing but like presence. Like it's a celebration, your Earth Day, and there's so many things in front of you that are for you. And all you gotta do is just go into it, unwrap it, be there, diet.
And it's really sitting with it, really sitting with it. Even when any fear that comes up, or because a lot of people are going into fear at this moment about everything, about the coronavirus, about the economy, about their work, their jobs, sitting with it completely. Sit with it, because everything is a partner. You know, the opposite of trust is betrayal. Can you sit with betrayal to embody the trust? The opposite of love is hate. Can you sit with the hate to embody the love? Your screen has frozen now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's that exactly. Like being again. Let it. Can you see that?
But
there you go.
having that ability,
and knowing that everything.
You know, sit in that silence. That's what is very difficult to do. But nature.
The path isn't in English, like into self. You know, you have to be in the silence. You have to turn off, let go certain faculties to increase self. Turn off
and
the
nature give, you know, I have my tree here, like I'll hug my tree. And nature, because I just look at the trees and they're so still regardless, and they're just, nature holds all the answers. You know, the Buddha sitting by the Bodhi tree where he received all his gnosis. He wasn't any different to you and I. He just sat in his stillness underneath his tree.
Indeed. So we got a little dog back here who is excited. I'm gonna connect with our tree in our yard. The same. So we, all right. So coming from we're in South Carolina. This is a pine tree. We have the pine cones.
This is
the pine cones for the pineal.
For the pineal, yes, of course. Beautiful, beautiful. Gorgeous. And you see, it's nature. Nature embodies pure love. Nature has all the answers. And even in this moment, with whatever humanity's going through, if you can just even sit in your gardens or go to a park and just sit there and embody that silence in nature, that's it. It's that simple.
That's it. You know, Niva, I'm grateful for the present. Because again, you brought me another present. I have never laid on this tree.
You must now. You must do it. Is this in your garden?
You feel something?